Hi guys, welcome back to today's video. We are talking about your specific person, manifesting them quickly, get your specific person faster without the delays. That's kind of the end goal of you guys watching this video. Focusing on building up momentum, creating the shift to bring your manifestation and your specific person into your physical reality. So make sure you guys stay tuned all throughout the video. I always break it down into different points and different areas. So I'm going to get into things like how to convince your specific person without needing to take action, and also ending with one of the biggest mistakes that you guys might be focusing on still. So you want to stay tuned to hear all the different points. And I'd very much appreciate if you guys subscribed, click the thumbs up button if you start watching and do actually enjoy and get value from this video. Maybe turn on that notification bell as well so you can get notified. You'll know all my newest uploads, which topics I'm talking about, and I always try and reply to comments as soon as possible. So if you want your comments, not necessarily like your coaching questions, that's not what I'm suggesting you guys comment, but if you do want to interact with me or let me know your thoughts, I'd love to hear that. I try and engage as quickly as I can once the video is uploaded. So yeah, everything else is on screen. If you do want some extra support and help, if you are struggling with your specific person manifestation, then maybe one of my extra coaching methods would help you go beyond just the content of this video. So without further ado, let's get into this topic. People can get really stuck, and it's very easy to think that you need to look externally and that it's, separate to you. It's an individual, it's your specific person, but they are not yours yet, right? Like you do easily look at them as an external separate part of you, but when it comes to manifesting and a relationship, they are connected to you regardless, because everyone will be a mirror reflection. And it's not that you're trying to get this external force, an external person to change and create shifts, forcing someone else to do it, if that makes sense. That's the completely wrong mindset to look at it with. It's you that is changing. You're changing your own mindset. You're not trying to force a change in someone who is, disconnected from you for starters, but it's not even external. So it's very much, they will mirror reflect what you focus on. So it's all about changing yourself, really. So that also ties into the idea that it doesn't even matter what happened in the 3D reality, how your SP has behaved up till now, because again, that's their past behavior. If it hasn't happened in this present moment, then let it go, leave it be, revise, or just focus on your affirmations, because again, it doesn't matter what they did, because that's just a past action, and what matters is you and your mindset. So because you're changing your own thoughts and your assumptions, the way you think, your thought patterns, that is all that matters, not their behavior. So you're not even trying to change something outside of yourself. You just need to change the way you think about it. So still focusing on where things can go wrong, and maybe in your own mindset this has gone wrong, is focusing on your SP's behavior. So it's very easy again to get triggered and react. I'm not saying, that you need to have like some kind of perfect robotic reaction. We're humans. Our emotions are going to fluctuate and respond to what's going on around us in our lives. Whether it's a stranger on the street, you're not going to have a reaction, or your specific person, you're going to have a strong reaction. Our emotional responses and the way we think, the assumptions that just pop into our minds, we can't really control that in terms of, every thought, and that's fine. But when it comes to looking at your SP's behavior, people can get really stuck on that and think it's important or it validates something. It's your perception of it that really matters. So it's about changing your own mindset and really just looking at your own behavior. It's not about what your SP did or is doing right now. You need to change your own thought patterns and reactions, and, trying to prevent the negative behavior like forcing, begging, chasing. Those are embarrassing things that you do not need to do. You are better than that. Please don't give in to those whims. Hopefully, all of us should have friends or people in our lives who support us in that narrative and don't enable or, sit by and let you just embarrass yourself and lower yourself to a level that you don't deserve or need to be at. But again, do not respond with your behavior to negative behavior from your specific person. That's another little extra tip, but you don't even need to analyze it. Whether or not you would take the physical action and do anything or try and communicate and, force the 3D to shift with your person, Even if it's just your own mental reaction in your own life, getting upset, disappointed, spiraling, be aware of your own thought patterns, your own thoughts, your behavior, because that's what matters, not what your SP is doing. If your SP is super negative, but you maintain your mental reactions, you are on top of your mental diet, you're being consistent and really putting in the effort and work, then their behavior will shift and it won't matter. It will not impact your manifesting journey. So when you start to really build on these beliefs and start to embody that version of you that aligns with the new story, because it is kind of like a new you as part of the new mindset and letting go of the old story. So anything negative that has up to this point prevented you from getting exactly what you want in your relationship, you are drawing them closer and closer to you. You are magnetizing them, right? So you are that magnet that is bringing them closer and closer because it's your mindset that is helping to conform everything. So you are already the version that has their commitment, their attention, their focus, their love, whatever it might be, embodying and trying to build on and focus on, even if you don't fully feel it or believe it, that's totally normal and fine, but building on that and seeing yourself as that version. So it kind of ties into self-concept as well, which I'll touch on a little bit in this video, but it's essentially becoming more and more the version of you in that new story. I already have their attention. I already have what I want from them. They're already chasing me. They're already desiring me. They want that commitment with me. And then you magnetize them to you because, again, they are a mirror reflection. If you assume that, you see yourself in that way, especially in the context of your relationship with them, they have no choice but to conform and see you in that light as well. It's creating a mental and emotional shift where you're focusing on being the person who they are already in love with, they are already committed to. It's creating a mental shift, obviously, in yourself. It starts internally, in them, in their emotions, in their mental state. You are drawing all of that, magnetizing that result closer and closer into your physical reality, everything shifting circumstantially, like I said, mental and emotional shift as well. So if you come from the mindset of they can't resist you, and again, tying into your self-concept of I'm irresistible to them, I'm on the pedestal, they are chasing and pursuing me, I'm their dream come true, and you start to assume and act based according to that in terms of, not forcing the 3D with your actions, acting natural, confident, secure, prioritizing yourself and saying that's what SP does for me too, because I'm a king, I'm a queen, whatever you want to say. And the moment you start to do that and get into this mindset, you're attracting them, magnetizing them closer and closer to you because you're assuming the version of you that already fits in that end result that is going to get that treatment, and they have to mirror reflect everything back to you. So remember and remind yourself, you can use this as a mental diet to calm down, a mental diet affirmation to calm down if you feel like you're struggling. Your SP is not rejecting you. They are just responding and still reflecting to old assumptions. So remember that you're not getting rejected by your SP. They're not, going against your affirmations and pulling away and deciding and having the free will to just say, no, I have no interest, and that's how they genuinely feel. None of that is objectively the case. They are reflecting the current assumptions that you hold, the old story, keep reminding yourself of that. They have to just reflect what's still the dominant state in your mind. So if you're not seeing, any neutral or positive or a lack of negative experiences, if you're not seeing that, then that's a good thing. But if you are seeing negative experiences, conversations, again, it is not a rejection. It's not a final, statement, objective truth that you can't have your specific person or something's wrong. They are just reflecting the current assumptions you have still held on to. So that would be a sign that you're still holding on to the old story. You still need to persist and be more consistent. Recognize what is really triggering you. How often are you getting triggered? Chances are you're still really holding on to something negative from past experiences with your specific person, or just, dating in general, for example. You absolutely do not need to convince your SP or force them into anything through communication, chasing, like I said, trying to force the 3D with action. You do not need to initiate conversations thinking, well, this will resolve it, this will get the commitment I want, whatever it may be. Yes, you might have a positive conversation, but if you cannot hold on to the positive assumptions that would relate to that, then there's no point. It's just going to fluctuate back into hot and cold. You need to get consistent with your own mindset and assume that everything is positive. The trajectory is super positive, on the up and up, no matter what. You need to have a positive mindset about the relationship in order for that to be maintained. So again, you don't need to chase or convince them, I promise. So really affirm and mentally embody the version of you that's already in the end result, that has the relationship, right? So the end result, whatever it might be, it's a bit different for everyone. With an SP, even if you're just starting in steps, that's fine. But affirm, focus on, mentally embody, which just means apply repetition really, to that version. Who are you in the end result? What is it that you're creating? Focus on that. Assume that that is what is happening in the context of your relationship. That is what currently defines your relationship, nothing else, nothing negative, because ultimately the only person that you are convincing is yourself, your own mind. It's all internal, it's all you. So we have the most freedom and control over ourselves. So that should be a reassuring concept and sentiment, that you are not trying to grab onto your SP while they are out living their lives. It's all about your own mindset. If you're still in this kind of more desperate state of lack, of waiting for them, thinking that they need to change, they need to become a different version, they need to completely stop everything they're doing because it's negative, then that's coming from a state of lack. And that's coming from, resistance of, they're not this version yet, I need them to change. It's still all negative. It's still all negative. It's not here yet. That's what you're telling your mind. It's really going to block the process and delay things. Again, you can't ruin it. I say this quite often. I remind and reassure my clients of this as well, but you can't ruin your manifestation. And I actually, if you go back to my channel, I have quite a few videos recently. I've talked about this concept as well a lot, but I think I have a literal video, like a motivational rant about not ruining your manifestation. And definitely subscribe, because I do want to do another positive rant like that very soon. You guys responded really well to that one. So yeah, back on topic. You can't ruin anything, but you want to make sure you're not holding on to that version, because if you're focusing on, that essentially them not giving you what you want, and thinking that they need to change their mind or feelings or things are not developed yet, it's really blocking and slowing down the process temporarily. So the moment you let go of that resistance, which really is defined by, holding on to the old story, doubt, any insecurity you have, which is why I said it ties a little bit into self-concept as well, feeling good enough, secure, worthy, holding yourself on the pedestal. Not to say that you're putting your SP down or that you're better than anyone, but, holding yourself in terms of being like, I'm high value, right? So letting go of all that resistance, everything negative that has made up the negative old story or lack up until this point. And that is when your SP really starts to show up differently, whether it's just reducing and removing anything negative, arguments, negative statements, having no contact, being ghosted, whatever it is, that probably summarizes most things, but whatever it is, they start to show up differently. Even if it's, like I said, might not be a love confession tomorrow, but neutral or positive is still a huge, amazing step in progress. If you're really focused on the 3D, then again, you're blocking and delaying the progress that you should and deserve to get right now. So stop focusing on how they're showing up right now or have until this point. Again, just tell yourself it's in the past, it doesn't matter. I'm in control of my mindset, and then my mindset reflects outwards in them, right? So don't focus on what they're giving you right now in the 3D reality. They cannot become a new version physically until you focus on that and start to assume and convince your own mind of that. So it's irrelevant what's being shown in the 3D right now. Stay focused and keep attention on, hold your attention on the version that you want as if it were that in the 3D reality. So it's not even that their actions are delaying anything, it's your focus on those actions that is causing a delay, because, and it's not to say, to put blame on yourself, but you focusing on those things is going to cause somewhat of a delay, right? So essentially, try and remove your focus from the 3D reality. Remind yourself that it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant if it's not what you want. They have to show up as the version you want when you really put your focus on that, on the version that you want, as if it's here right now. Start convincing your mind of that. So that is how to shift everything around, become magnetic, really focus on the right mindset, and persist. So if you want some extra support and you really want to get hone in and get really focused on your relationship with your SP. I have exclusive member challenges up and lots more content that's exclusive to members. So maybe, hit the join membership button right below the screen. If that's of interest to you, you can even just sign up for 1 month. Do subscribe, thumbs up, turn on that notification bell. It would mean a lot and you can stay up to date with everything. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.